So BigSrod's coming back at you. Another little live show tonight. I got a little coat of marble I'm gonna put on this rod that we're working on here lately. If you've been with us already, the other night we put one coat on this thing already, and it turned out pretty good, but we need to put one more coat on it to get it exactly right how we want it. Get it nice. I got it taped off right here because I'm going to put a decal right here. But I'm going to marble this right here tonight. Live with everybody. It's going to get a little loud. Y'all know how it is with that thing. But we got some epoxy made up. I already got it ready to go. We're going to start rolling with it. So tune in and check it out for a little while. Hang out with me. I'll be on here about an hour tonight. We're going to put us a nice layer on it so we can get us a, we're going to go thin. My rocking old table over here. Took us long to get us a nice little coat on this thing. Want to put us a base coat on it so we can blend these colors together when we make it up. Oh yeah. Get a nice solid little coat on that thing. We don't want it uneven. Try to make it as level. Spinning it like this makes it level as well. But I like to get it nice and level on the first coat. We ain't got a whole lot to marble right here. Everything's jumping like that. Don't forget to stop doing that. Get it to stop that on us. Catch where we're at. Catch back on to where we was at. We're going to put a thin coat on this tonight. We ain't going thick as the other ones. Because we're just going to blend a couple of colors in for a second coat. It's just like painting a wall or something. You put the first coat on, and what we did on this is we covered up the ugly stick part. Because that's what this is a nice Shakespeare. Or a nice ugly stick, I meant. Not Shakespeare. I don't know why I said that. But we're going to get a nice solid coat, like I said, across this. And then we'll start blending some colors in on it. It's going to be kind of hard to see it on this little session because I've already put a coat on this one already. So it's going to be kind of hard to see a little bit while I'm doing it. But you'll see the outcome. The outcome will be nice. Well, you know, it's one of those jobs where you got to see the outcome. There we go. We got a pretty nice solid coat across this thing, I do believe. Enough to do what we need to do, and all we're doing is putting a nice base coat on this thing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer some of this over to my Dollar General tab. We're going to put us a little bit of color in there. Pop these colors in there real quick. Once we do that, I'll show y'all a little bit of what this marbling is all about. We don't need a whole bunch of it. Whenever I make this paint up, any kind of paint, when I'm painting it and doing it, I always separate them as far away from each other as I can, because I end up cross-contaminating the colors, not paying attention. I don't like to put them right beside each other in the dishes is what I'm saying. We got some nice little coat in there. I'll show y'all what's this. It's called Pearl X powder pigment. I mix it with this epoxy. I get this from Hobby Lobby. Is where I get it from. I get it from Hobby Lobby. No scratcher somewhere around here. Make sure where I put it this time. I'm just going to get a little bit of this powder out. We'll mix it in this color right here. This is sapphire blue. Sapphire blue's it looks good. You can see the color on this already. I mean, it looks pretty nice. So, see if we can't spin that together right here. Get us a nice little mixture of color. This will be a nice blue tint. It's got like a pearl in it. It's like a pearl blue is what it's got in it, like a pearl blue. It looks real good. Y'all see in just a minute. I'll show you in just a minute. You'll see how this marble job comes together. It's actually pretty nice. The next one we're going to use is micro pearl. Pearl X from Hobby Lobby. They use this in any kind of crafts and stuff like that. Alright. That might be enough there. We'll see. We're going to get that white mixed together. It's a pearl white. It's got a nice metallic to it. It's got a nice metallic to it. Once I get this pearl going, it'll look good. Mix that up real good. I don't want to leave no chunks in it. It'll look ugly on the rod. Y'all wondering what's going on here? I'm putting a marble paint job on a custom fishing rod. Is what we're doing right now. If y'all are wondering in the chat there, just what the heck was going on here, that's exactly what's going on. We're doing a nice little marble job here. Nice little marble. I don't want to put it on too thick. And that's why I'm only doing this marbling down at the bottom of this rod, because I don't want to build it up too much and make it real heavy. It's a real light rod. It's nice for catching brim and crappie. The only problem with it is it ain't got a whole lot of length. It's only 5 foot long, I think, 5.5 foot long. But it's not real big. It don't get in the way, and it's a 2-piece rod, so it breaks down to like about a 2.5 foot rod. So I like that. Alright, we're putting our second coat on this rod. I've already put one coat of marble on this. One coat of marble's already been put on this custom rod right here. But we're gonna make it 2. We're gonna put a lot of color on this thing so we can cover up the blank. That's what I'm shooting for now. Get that blank covered up this time. Wasn't too bad on the last one. We'll set that down. Now it's a white one. I got a little bit of white pearl. We're gonna dip into this as well. This white, the white will pop. You'll see the white. The white will show up real good on it. It takes a little time to do this stuff, but it's not hard to do. Marbling's not hard. People see the results and they get confused thinking that it's some kind of masterpiece of artwork. It's not. It's not. All it is just having the right stuff. I mean, it takes a little bit of creativity, but I mean, you see what I'm doing. I'm just slapping it on here. There's no rhyme or reason to my marble paint jobs. I just go with it. I just roll with it. And I'm gonna make a run back. Do it kind of. It's a 2-layer marble job. And when you get up close, once it dries, you'll be able to see down in it like it's 3D almost. You'll be able to see the layer below it that I had. Pretty nice. It'll look pretty good when it's done. Let's see, now we're gonna hit a couple of spots. Couple of touch-up spots that I want to get. Put a few more tabs of blue on it, and then we'll blend this all together. Tidying up a few spots. I don't want to put too much on this thing, though. You can put too much of it on there, and it'll start building up on you. You don't want it to build up on you. If it builds up on you, it's bad for you. What's up? What is up? No custom fishing rod? I'm working on a custom fishing rod. Welcome back. Welcome back. How you doing tonight? I hope y'all are doing great tonight. Big into fishing, said Drake. Man, that's awesome, brother. That's awesome, man. It is awesome. What I'm going to do now, we're going to start blending this together. And all I'm going to do is kind of scratch this together a little bit. See if we can't get some of this color to blend. Man, that's awesome, man. I'd love to hook you up with a fishing rod one day. Make sure you're subbing, everybody out there. If you're not subbing, man, missing out. I've been known to donate fishing rods to my subs and my followers, so been known to do that in a time or two. So make sure you sub and like the page. You know what I mean? Sub. I'm on Facebook a lot. I don't do a whole lot here on YouTube. I've just kind of gotten into the YouTube thing, doing the lives at least. So I'm just kind of starting to get into this. This thing's going to be sweet looking when we're done with it, though, y'all. It's going to have that nice 3D effect. I just got a new fishing rod because it's my birthday. Yeah, I think I remember you telling me that. I think I remember you telling me that the other night. I skipped last night. Had a lot going on, so I didn't make it on the live last night. I didn't even touch a fishing rod last night. That put me behind on my work. I got quite a few fishing rods that I got going for people, other people as well. So this rod is a personal rod right here that I'm just fancying up. Yeah, that marble's starting to look good. Do a couple of long stretches here. Yeah, they're starting to look good now. Y'all, there's no rhyme or reason to this. You just go after it. That's all I do. Sometimes, I mean, I can make designs with it. I can make like particular designs, and I can make little shapes, and I can make stuff actually out of it and actually get right down with it, but it takes a lot of time, and that's if somebody wants that. Right here, all I'm going for is a coverage on the blank of a marble job. That's all I'm going for right here. Not bad. That rod looks good so far. Yeah, it does, man. It is. This one is looking good. Now, like I said, with this rod, it's not a brand new. I haven't built it all the way up. This is a rod that I've had for like 15 years. And what I did was I stripped it all the way down and took all the guides off of it. That's why it don't look right. If you look right here, I'm going to cover that with blue thread, and then it'll match the blank, or the grips that I got, this fish scale grips. It'll all come together once I get done with it. But this is just an old rod of mine that started looking real ugly. So I decided I was going to put a little, nice little refresher on it, is what I call it. A refresher. There you go. She's starting to solid out now. There we go. It's not looking bad. Is that the one you showed us the other day? It probably is. If I was doing the marbling job, this is the one I put the coat on the other day. If you remember then, when I put the coat on it, it was a solid blank like up here. It was like the color of this, black. And what I did was I put that first coat of marble on it, and this is the second coat we're putting on it. But this is the rod the other night I had on here. This is the rod I had on here the other night. I'm getting it more of a marble looking job now. It's kind of blend together on the first coat. This one's going to be broke up a little bit different on this one. Give me just a second to sort of situate a few things right here so I can get us to where we can move a few things out the way. It gets a little messy doing this sometimes. When you're doing epoxy work, it gets a little messy sometimes. There we go. That'll work pretty good right there. This is like a 5.5 foot, 5 foot ultralight. What it is it's an ugly stick. It's an ugly stick 5 foot that I stripped it all the way down and put a marble job on it. You know what I'm saying? Do you make 2 pieces? I do. I have made 2 pieces. I mainly make 1-piece rods, but there ain't nothing really different to making a 2-piece rod than a 1-piece rod, except for you got 2 pieces and you got a joint in the middle, you know? So that's really the only difference. I mean, I'm not trying to be smart aleck, I'm not sitting here trying to tell you, but the only difference in a 2-piece rod and a 1-piece rod when you're building it, when you're doing a rod build on it, is just right here where the ferrule is, where you put it together, you know what I mean? You just got to make sure your guides set up right. They're usually set up right when you get the blank in, so you don't have to worry about guides getting in that area. Like, for instance, on this one, this is a 2-piece as well. Right here is where the blank separates. There's a guide that goes right here, right where it separates at. That also helps hold this the other part of the stick out. But yeah, I do 2 pieces as well. I'll show y'all what this thing looks like real quick. It's looking good. I got to keep it rotating. If you don't rotate it, it gets real bad. But I can probably get y'all a good picture of it here, right here, real quick. I got to keep it rotating myself. Y'all can see that marble job on there. It looks real good. The whole blank is completely covered up. See up here, it's a little bit different. Right there in between those two pieces of tape right there. That's because right in there, I'm going to put a blank. Or not a blank, I'm going to put a decal. I'm going to put a nice decal right up here on that so you can see it, a white decal. It'll stick out pretty good. But this marble job is, it's looking pretty good. You know what I mean? Appreciate that, man. It does look pretty sweet. From a distance, you can see it pops, you know. And once I get the blue grips, or the blue thread, I'm sorry, and put it on here, I mean, it'll all blend together. All my guides are going to be blue up here. And like I say, it's got the nice fish scale grip on it, you know what I mean? So that's sweet too right there, you know what I mean? We're going to set this one up here on another one. This one's a little quieter. I can turn this one off. I can make that noise turn off right there. And I'm going to put this on another dryer that I have right here. It's a little bit quieter than the other one. You might hear that one still going, but it's not as loud as the other one. Quite as loud. Y'all give me just a second. Clean my stuff out of here real quick. If I don't clean this out now, it'll be an awful mess later. This epoxy can get messy, like I said, like I mentioned earlier. It can get real messy. But it's not a bad deal. The very first rod that I ever built, custom fishing rod that I ever built, I did a marble job on it. Because that's the first thing I did. I got right here on YouTube. To be honest, I got right here on YouTube and I started watching videos after videos after videos on how to do marbling. And then I butchered a couple of fishing rods, you know what I mean? But just like anything else. It's like this rod right here. I did like this on the very first rod build I ever did. I had me a good heat gun and a good razor blade. And if you got that, you can strip a rod down pretty much all the way to the grips. And you know what I mean? And once you do that and get it all the way down, as long as you know, you can get epoxy from rod building stores. You can actually get this epoxy for this stuff on Amazon. They sell it. You know what I mean? Like the epoxy, the rod building stores have Amazon stores on there. So you can find them on Amazon as well. How to do it. And you can strip it all the way down, put new guides on. You can get thread. I use some of my thread as long as it's you know, like a, you want it's like a, I can't even think of the word right now on it. You know what I mean? As long as it's like a poly thread, you can use it on the rod building. You know what I mean? You can use any threads you want, but it's the finished product you're looking whenever you're doing it. I get a lot of my thread from nylon thread works really good. Is what I meant. That's kind of what I was looking for, like a nylon. I get that from Hobby Lobby as well. You know what I mean? A lot of my threads, because they're local and easy to get to. Sometimes when you get this rod building stuff, it's not real popular. There's not a whole lot of people that supply it, so the demand and stuff gets above the supply sometimes, and you have to wait a long time for a lot of your rod stuff to get in and out the door, and that's really annoying. You know what I mean? But the upside of it is if you do get that stuff, I mean, you can transform a fishing rod. I got a rod back here that I show y'all a little example of what I mean, like some rods that I've called like juicing it up, you know. This one was a 7 foot heavy, and it was just it was a Catmaster Seal Star, is what it was. This rod's 25 years old, y'all, and it's yellow looking. I mean, it's an old rod, but it used to be black and all white, and I put these nice X grips on it and dressed it up with these grips. You know what I mean? And I did a little thread job. I just threw a thread job over the old ugly stuff that was there. Little tiger kind of wrap right there. Did a bunch of bands on it, and I put red eyes on it, and like I just transformed that rod, you know, just gave it a nice little look on it. Instead of that old dull white and black it was, I put it and made it red and put the nice grips on it and everything and all that. I mean, that stuff, you can do that stuff on your own, you know. You can do that stuff right at the house. That's another example right there. I did the same thing with that one. Did a lot of work on that one. I put a nice black. I need to clean it up. But it's a nice, I've redone the grips in black. And the same thing with this. This is an old Cat Master. You know what I mean? Same thing. I just dressed it up, put a little bitty nice job on it. I mean, it don't take much to do that. You know what I mean? You can get a little epoxy, a little bit of thread. You can get everything you need to do that from Hobby Lobby and stuff like that. But the best, your hand wrapper, if you want to wrap the thread and you want to get to where you want to wrap your own guides though and everything on there, yeah, you have to get a wrapper. You know what I mean? A wrapper from the face. And that's where I'd suggest, if you want to get to that point right there, I suggest you get on YouTube and reach out and ask questions. I'm always willing to answer questions or anything if anybody ever wants to get into it. I encourage people to get into rod building. But if you ever have questions or anybody ever wants to talk to it, I'm always down to give somebody some information or tell them or lead them in the right direction, because I mean, it's a fun thing. It's tedious and fun, but when you get done, I mean, when you get done with a rod, just the feeling of being done with that rod and then the way it looks is just something satisfying about it. You know what I mean? And I fish, you know, I got a few production rods like this one and a few other ones that I fish still, but I mainly fish custom rods because I just, once you get one, you don't go back. I mean, the way they feel. The combo we got was a Fluger President spinning reel. I got the exact same one. It's been sitting in the shop forever now, but I have the same combo. Bought it a long time ago. 5 or 6 years back. Right about the time I started building rods. I might start making customs one day. It sounds fun. It is fun, man. If you got a little bit of time on your hands, you know, I could have never got this done 10 years ago, you know, and everything and all. My son's he's 15 now. He's, you know, in high school and stuff, and he does his own sport. He has his sports and his buddies and all his things that he does. So we fish on the weekends and everything, but on the evenings, I usually got time to myself, you know, and he's doing his thing and whatever. So I got time to do this stuff. So I sit in here in the evenings for an hour or two at night like this, and I just work on the fishing rods. You know what I mean? It's not tedious work. It's not, you know, until you get to the thread part. Once you get to the threading part, you know, like this ultralight rod, when I get down there and try to put that last guide on, it gets a little tough on an old man like me. But if you're a young buck and got good eyes and a nice steady hand, you can get it. You know what I mean? Yeah, them two rods are pretty nice right there. I did this one as well. This was the same thing. What I'm gonna do, this was a brand new rod that somebody gave me and told me to do something. They asked me to do something good with it. So, and do something, you know, they said just do something good with it for somebody, because they know I got a page and everything on Facebook as well. And so I'm not 100% sure about this one yet, but I'm going to try to do this one on like a theme for like all this hair you see on my head. I've been growing out because I do cancer benefits, and I shave my head to conquer cancer for kids. I used to do St. Baldrick's all the time, where we grow our hair out like this, and then we'd raise money, donate it to St. Baldrick's, which is to conquer kids' cancer. And we'd all shave our head and raise money for it. And that's kind of what I'm going to try to incorporate this rod into this year. Here coming up around March, I'll keep everybody updated on here. I'm going to start raising money and everything, keeping everybody on it. And I'm going to do a shave. I'm going to shave my head in the local salon here and donate all the money. And I'm going to try to incorporate this rod to it. I got this rod, like I said, brand new, and I did the same thing like with that other one. I put a nice little marble job on it, and that nice thread work you see. This little tiger right there. Did a nice little thread work just to dress it up some. And I'm gonna put something on here, you know. I don't know, F cancer sucks, or something like that, some kind of thing to, you know, and raffle this off maybe, or something like that towards the cause. You know what I mean? And take all the money and donate it. I want to do St. Baldrick's, and I've always done St. Baldrick's, and I'd like to do something in the summer. But this year I live here in South Carolina, and I'd like to do something local to my area. Still donate to the cause and everything, but I'd like to do it local in my county. Is what I'm trying to do more on this one. You know what I mean? Instead of driving all the way off to Columbia and doing it for. I mean, I understand St. Baldrick's, and I've donated and done a lot of head shaving for them, but I'd rather do it for local if I can. So I'm probably going to raffle this off once I get it done. And I'm going to, when I get ready to shave my hair, and I'll do it live. I'll do it live on Facebook, and I'll do it live on here. I'll stream both of them probably at the same time when I go to do it, so everybody will be able to be in on it. And I'll have ways to donate at the time when the time comes and everything. See if anybody wants to donate to the cause as well. As there are some rods that would be hard to make custom because of the material, or does it not really matter? Yeah, it depends, man. There's all kinds. I mean, custom rods. Some people want feathers in them. You can put feathers down in them. Some people want to do snake skin for grips style, and some people want to do. And you can get into cork grips. Cork grips are a little more complicated than these EVA grips. So it's yeah, man, it does make a difference. And some people want them custom out with different things. It gets kind of crazy. Rod mills can get crazy, and it can get a lot of detail in it like that, like you were speaking of. You know, I mean, it can get crazy. But that's what I'm gonna do with this, and that's why my hair, man. I've been growing my hair for 2 years, and I've been waiting so I can get it long enough so I can shave it off and raise money and all that kind of stuff. But so make sure y'all are subbing to the page. You know what I mean? Make sure y'all hit a sub out on it and stay and check me out, because I'm gonna start getting on here more often. I just haven't been on YouTube a whole lot. I'm focused all my stuff on that book of faces over there. You know what I mean? And everything. It just hit 7K on my followers over there, which is pretty nice. You know, it's nothing big, but it's a pretty active page over there as well. And I'm trying to get this one kind of in coordinates with that one and get it active like that one is as well. You know what I mean? As far as lives, I'm going to be randomly going on live like this at nights. And I've told this before, but like I'm just going to go over DIYs, you know what I mean? Questions and answers. It don't matter. I don't know a whole lot, but whatever knowledge I know, I'll spread it on. And we're going to show you how to replace tips on rods and how to fix rods and how to cut the tip off of a rod and replace the tip if you want to. As long as you got a Dremel and some heat and a razor blade, you can replace tips, and you can get stuff for that off of Amazon. And I just want to, there's quite a few different lives that I'm going to do here in the future where I'm going to show a lot of things to do. And I'll do quite a few of them because I'm always fixing tips. I'm always working on rods. I'm always doing something on rods. So it's nothing for me to throw on this camera and do a live and just, sometimes it's not the most interesting thing. It's not boring. Doing the marbling, it's a little more of an interesting one. When you get out here and you start, running guides and stuff and doing thread work, it gets pretty boring, I can imagine, for people, because I get bored with it after I do about 10 or 15 guides on a couple of rods. So you know what I mean? So that's why I want to keep it kind of mixed up and, do like something like that, do a marble job. I'm not going to stay on here real long tonight. I'm going to get off here for too long. But I mean, like, do a little marble job or do a little something like that, and then go over some DIYs. I'm going to take some reels down and apart, and I'm going to do some greasing and some oiling on some reels here in the future, and upkeep and maintenance on those things. You know what I mean? Because I am known for keeping a reel, keeping a reel for a real long time. Just what I do to keep my reels in shape and to keep my reels, performing at their best while you're out there, because the worst thing to happen is a reel to mess up on you, or go south while you're out there, especially if you're catching, a PB or something like that. Oh, that's cool. I respect that. Yeah, appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Whenever you do the stream for it, I'll donate if I can. That's awesome, man. Like I said, I'll have, as far as on here, I'm not sure how you can, I'm not monetized on here or nothing like that. I'm monetized on Facebook, but I'm not monetized on here. So I'll put like a Cash App up, or maybe like a Venmo and PayPal. I got a couple of those things that, you know what I mean? But you know what I mean? That's down the road a little bit, but make sure you sub up to the page and everything and all that, and keep an eye on things too. You know what I mean? So, everything's all legit, it'll be obvious, I'll be all over the page and all over the live streams with it. And when I do the event, it's going to be a local salon here. It'll be all live and everything else. So, you know what I mean? I got a pretty good following, and I got a pretty good reputation. I like to donate when I can, and I give a whole lot back. You know what I mean? I'm going to do some things on here as well. Once these lives get to rolling and I get on here and get things situated, I'm going to get some people like you, man. You've been showing up pretty good. I appreciate you with the support, man, and get a couple of people like you that are supporting and in there with it, and shoot some decals and some bracelets out. You know what I mean? I got bags full of these, man. They got the BSR for BigSrod's, Feel the Bite. Like I've showed, I think you might have seen it, bracelets. I'm gonna shoot some of these out to my subs and stuff like that. I might hit you up and get your address and shoot you out some decals and stuff. These are pretty nice decals. I like feel the bite. This is still a work in process. I'm working on that big ass rods up there. Problem is with this is my last name starts with an S. Okay, I'll tell you a real quick story. My last name starts with an S. And so I was starting this rod thing, and I said, well, maybe I'll just call myself Big S Rods for the first, for the initial of my last name. And I never thought about it or anything. And I made a Facebook page and started rolling with it about 5 years ago. And somebody come up to me one time and they started laughing and they said, man, I see what you did there. I see exactly what you did. You know what I mean? That big ass rods. I see what you did. And I really, honestly, I was like, what do you mean? I don't know what you mean, man. You know what I mean? And then he explained a little more, and I'm like, oh shit. I said, I see what you're saying. I was like, I've never thought about it like that. He didn't believe me. He thought I was lying to him. I said, dude, I didn't think about it like that. I said, in my head, I thought of something like, I said, if I ever get rich and hit the lottery, I'll have a ranch over in Texas or something. You know what I mean? And I'll call it the Big S Ranch because my last name starts with an S. And there'll be a big gate out front with a big S on it. It says Big S Ranch, So I was like, Big S Rods, you know what I mean? The Big S Rods. That'd be cool, you know what I mean? And I never thought about it like that. And everybody still to this day, when they follow my page and doing everything, they're like, I see what you did with that. It's Big Ass Rods. It's Big Ass Rods. And I'm like, man, I was like, I didn't know that. So whenever I did bring it up, I did Big Ass Rods. And my very first Big Ass Rod emblem looked like this right here. And it was hard to tell. People had trouble telling what it was. This was my first emblem that I made. And it was just like that. It said Big S Rods. But the S was a fishing rod. Just like this up here. So, people would call it Big Rods. And everybody had my decals out there, and they'd ask people, and people would be like, hey, that big, what's Big Rods? You know what I mean? And some people would I had a couple of people say, that's derogatory. That's derogatory. And I'm like, shit, this is spiraling out of control. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't even know. I wasn't even never even thought about it like that from the beginning, Now, those are just Karens, you know what I mean? And people getting mad about it, or somebody saying, that's derogatory. To be honest, you got to be kind of pretty much a Karen to think that way. I would think, that it was derogatory. But it raises questions all the time, and people don't really understand what it is, you know what I mean? Like, if I go on, TikTok sometimes, and I try to go on YouTube here, and I jump on people's lives, and I check them out and stuff, and they'll be like, hey, Big Rods. Hey, Big Rods. And I'm like, it's Big Ass Rods. But that's a little story about how the Big S Rods come about, because a lot of people don't understand it. So I'm kind of going to lean into this one where it says BSR for Big S Rods, and I'm going to change that a little bit where it says it says Big S Rods up there. And I'm going to ease towards that emblem. Kind of like, I think the emblem I probably have on my YouTube here. I think I might have changed it to it. It's cool the way you make that S a rod. Yeah, man, that was my deal, man. That was my custom thing, I was like, man, that's bad right there. That's sweet. That's sick, you know what I mean? And it was, you know what I mean? But you had to know what it was. And the emblem and everything still looks good, but if you want to get people to know you and get out there, especially local around here, like I'd like to get a good following of local people, and people are just like, Big Rods, what is that? And most people don't even want to ask. Because some people take it as derogatory, so they won't even ask nothing. You know what I mean? I'm like, it's just big BSRs, just Big ass rods, man. But I loved how I got that fishing rod in there. I loved the way it looked and everything. But now I'm like, I got it on my hoodies. You know what I mean? But it's just, I still do this emblem though on some of my fishing hoodies and shirts and stuff because I like that emblem. You know what I mean? It looks good. It don't matter. It's fishing rods. That's all. And when you're on the back, it's got a big one. That's all you need to see is the big ass fishing rod back there. You know what's up with it. You know exactly what's up with it. Then I ain't got a whole. I'm on the far as the rods. I'm waiting on some thread to come in, man. I'm waiting on some threads to come in. I'm waiting on quite a little bit of supply to come in to roll on with a few more things. That marbling job is about where I'm at. I could put a few more coats of epoxy on these rods, but I'll probably do those in the next night or two. I'll probably jump on here to do them. They'll be a little bit boring, but on that, I'll do a little more of questions and answers. And I'll talk a little more about fishing, building fishing rods, and how it comes along and how we do things. You know what I mean? And the next step on this rod right here will be doing some thread work. So I'm gonna kind of use this rod right here as our kind of our rod on as kind of our rod on here on the YouTube. I'm gonna make sure y'all I keep y'all updated on this with the lives. You know what I mean? As far as what I mean is, anytime I go to do something on this or I'm working on this, I'll do it live here on YouTube so everybody can keep up with it from this point to where it's, it ain't nothing but a stick right now. And I want y'all to be able to, I want y'all to be able to see the process all the way from where we'll take this right here and we'll turn it into a actual fishing rod you can fish with. You know what I mean? Like I said, I didn't take the reel seat off. I put this nice scale. You can get this scale right here that you're seeing. You can get this scale and you can get it off of Amazon, y'all. Right off Amazon, you can get this scale. And it's a heat shrink wrap. You get you a nice heat gun and you can slap it on there. I'm going to do that later on in some lives. I'm going to wrap some more of these on some grips, on some rods. So it's going to, you know what I mean? So y'all can see that. But it's so easy to make a rod just look pretty good like this, y'all. I got to keep turning it, y'all. If I don't, it'll start dripping off there. But I don't know if y'all can see that real well in there, but that marble job looks good. It covered up nicely. Like I said, we're going to put a decal right here. This is still dry, y'all. We're going to put a decal on that. I don't know what it's going to say. It's probably going to say big ass rods. It's probably going to say big ass rods, you know what I mean? But I'm going to keep y'all updated on that rod right there. That's going to be like the YouTube rod. I'm going to, if something happens to it, y'all are going to be able to see it here on the live. You know what I mean? When I go to put the thread up there to cover up that butt end, and when I start putting this first guide on, because this rod, I mean, it'll take probably 2 more lives and I'll have it ready to start epoxying. Because I need to get this rod done. I got another rod I'm going to build for myself, and probably about 3 or 4 I need to get done for other people before the spring hits. I also got a John boat that I fish religiously out of, and I'm planning on tearing it down and putting new spark plugs in it and changing the foot oil and seals and water pumps and all this stuff and everything, because I fish a lot. I mean, I do build fishing rods, but when the weather gets right and better, I do a whole lot of fishing. I probably caught 100 fish in between this summer, through the summer into this fall here. I got into it right. It was probably summers when I really got into the fishing. I didn't get into any good spring fishing, but I probably caught 100 fish this last season right off the river over here in my local river and lake. So I had a pretty decent year this year as far as bass and striper. The river's full of them. I do catfishing a good little bit, and I will get into some of that and stuff. I do a good little bit of catfishing. I like to chase big cats. You know what I mean? I'm around 50 pounds for my personal best on a blue cat. Channel cat, I've caught a pretty nice channel cat up there, close to 20 pounds as well, which is a pretty good sized channel. But that's all I did when I first started fishing there. I catfished all the time. Then I got into bass fishing more in the last about 3 or 4 years since I started building fishing rods. I kind of got into some more bass fishing, and I've pretty much excelled in that because I excel in everything that I do. So, you know what I mean? I mean, excelling in it ain't nothing. That's nothing new for me. So now I'm a pro bass fisherman, pro staff, you know what I mean? I just love to fish, y'all. I'm kidding around. I joke around a little bit, y'all. I love to fish. I fish all the time. My son loves to fish. I mean, that's all we love to do is fish and hunt. That's what we do. You know what I mean? We fish and hunt. He's on the varsity wrestling team at the local high school, you know what I mean? So he wrestles when he ain't fishing and hunting. He plays a little bit of baseball. I don't think he's going to try out for the team this year, though. Maybe, maybe not. I love baseball, too, so we some sportsmen. We love the outdoors. We love to fish. We love to hunt. We love to play sports and watch sports, and we're just down-to-earth people. You know what I mean? Are you about done with the rod you were just working on, or are you going to put another coat on it? I love fishing when a couple days. Which rod are you talking about? This one I just showed y'all that I said I was going to do on the YouTube? Or are you talking about the one I was thinking about doing for the cancer benefit? Which one are you talking about? Both of them. I mean, the one for the cancer benefit, I just got to put a coat of epoxy on it and put a decal on it. It'll be, if I could have it done in a day or two. that red one back there that I was doing for the cancer benefit. This one I'm doing here, the ultralight, that's on this um live that we're doing. I don't know, maybe about 2 or 3 more lives, we should have it finished. But that's not going to be the next consecutive lives. You know what I mean? Because I ain't gonna be. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that. I got to get some thread in and a few things for it. I got to get a decal in for it. So, I mean, it'll take probably at least 2 weeks to get this rod finished. No telling how many lives I'll go, but it's probably gonna take about 2 weeks to get it. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I stay pretty steady with it. I mean, when I can, and sometimes I go 3 or 4 days and I don't even touch a rod. Depends on how sports are with my son, how life's treating me, work. I work full time. I'm a plumber. You know what I mean? I turn wrenches and do service calls and fix leaks and stuff like that on service for plumbing for a plumbing company here local. And I stay busy with that. I get overtime with that. I'm on call a lot of times with that. So I mean, there's no telling what keeps me from doing it. So sometimes I go, 2, 3, 4 days without even coming back here into the spin shop and even looking at a rod. You know what I mean? Mason, what's up? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, the one you just showed us. Yeah, that one, man. That one's gonna. It's probably got. If I had to guess, it's probably got about another of actual hands-on labor. It's probably got about another 2.5 hours worth of maybe 3 of actually hands-on labor to get it done. Now, when you talk about how long it'll take for the whole thing, you got 8 hours of drying. So it's just turning. I'm not actually physically doing work to it. So about 2.5 more hours to get that rod done. But I got to get time in there to do it. You know what I mean? Putting the guides on it and putting the thread work on it don't take long at all. It's putting probably about 3 coats of epoxy on it. And that's 3 days. That's almost 3 days right there of cure time. Putting 3 coats of epoxy on it. You know what I mean? So that's more of just a tedious thing on there. You know what I mean? That's why I don't when I'm building a rod and somebody wants to buy a fishing rod, it's hard. They'd be like, "How much is a fishing rod?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I'm not sure exactly. You know what I mean? I can't really tell you. Do you want marble? Do you just want a straight rod built? Do you want a chevron wrap on it? Do you want custom wraps put on it? You know what I mean? Do you want custom grips? Do you want this or that? I mean, the cost can be down pretty low if you want just standard black grips, a black seat, and a black blank, and just one color on the guide, because when you do a guide, I mean, it just depends on how many you do. Like this one right here. I mean, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bands on it. So if you did all of yours, like this one has 4. You know what I'm saying? This has the guide, and then it has 3 bands down here. Well, if you do that to 9 guides, it takes more time. It takes more, it takes a lot more time. It takes more, you know what I mean? And everything. And y'all know the old slime rod back here that I have. This was a quick rod. This rod didn't have a whole lot to it. The one that I built, this personal one I built, this one, because look, it's green. I mean, it's just one boom. Boom, just one. That's how the guides are. Bam, it's just one. You know what I mean? There's not a band on. I don't have to do 2. I throw the green on. Boom, I move on to the next one. Throw the green on. Throw the green on. This is your like typical rods. You know what I mean? Just a straight one color. You know what I mean? There ain't no bunch of fancy thread work. It's as light as it can be. It's just got a band right there, a band right there. 2 bands down here. When you just got one color, it's you can get it way cheaper with that because it don't take as long on a rod. But if everybody's always asked and everybody always wants to know, and to be honest with you, to get a basic, pretty much custom rod built, it ain't gonna be no less than probably about $200. I used to be able to do rods for about $180. I could have them shipped to your house for $200. $200 now is not even counting shipping. It's just the prices went up. I used to be able to buy a rod. I used to be able to buy a medium rod blank, moderate action, which is your standard kind of in the middle fishing for anything. You used to be able to buy that blank for $25. You know what I mean? A couple years ago. Now they're like $49. $39, $49 when they used to be 25. So I mean, the prices went up on materials so bad it's crazy. You know, the work is the work. The work ain't changed. You know what I mean? What is prices went up in materials, the rod blanks. You know what I mean? Shipping, everything. The PVC tube to ship it in. You know what I mean? When I first started building rods, a PVC tube was $11.50. That's what I was paying for the tubes I was shipping them in. That was a 10-foot stick of 3-inch PVC because I got to do 3-inch because of the guides, and I have to have room in there. So I got to ship it in a 3-inch PVC so I can put enough bubble wrap and enough cushion in it that when it bounces around and the UPS does what they do best in USPS and beat the living heck out of it, it'll withstand it and be able to make it there without getting broke. So I used 3-inch. That was $11. 11 to depending on 11 to 12, $13. Now that summer gun is $26. You know what I mean? So I mean, honestly, when I first started building rods 5 years ago, it was so tall. I mean, people would message you up and they'd be like, "Hey man, I want to build a fishing rod," you know, and they'd be like, "Man, I ain't got $400," and I'm like, "Man, you crazy?" You know what I mean? Why you need $400? You know what I mean? $180, $200, I could have it to your door. A basic rod like you just seen that green one back there. I could have it to your door for, you know what I mean, $200, maybe a little over. Now, no, you know what I mean? I couldn't do it for under $200. I mean, that's just to be, that's ballpark, you know what I mean? And I have to get the order in to see, it's just crazy. And that kind of messed it up because now I'm like, man, you could build an affordable rod for the average Joe out there. People that normally wouldn't be able to afford a custom fishing. I ain't saying nobody's poor. I ain't saying nobody ain't got no money. We all know how fishing is and how it can be. If you ain't got the money to normally get it, hey, I'm the man. You know what I mean? I can get it, you know what I mean? And build you a basic rod like that, nothing fancy and purty. You know what I mean? You have a custom rod, you know, maybe your name or decal on it, something, you know, custom to yourself and for a cheap price. Now it's like, you know, I can't, you know what I mean? I guarantee I'd have $200 probably right now in the fishing rod. I haven't priced up a fishing rod for somebody. 2 of them I'm building for people that I know, and then that ain't paying me. And the other 2 are locked in. All I got to do is ship, and I bought their stuff a while back and got real good deals on it. I try to do that too sometimes. I got bargain deals on stuff, and I made them down for them, so those are pretty cheap. But right now, it'd probably be $200 just to get started on the rod. And then I don't know what I'd build it for. You know what I mean? It depends on what I got into it. Amazing. Read the long thing I did if you want to enter. What you talking about, Mason? Not sure what you're talking about, Bo. Does anyone want to enter my giveaway? Your giveaway? What's your giveaway, man? I didn't see nothing on that, man. I've said, is it on your page there or something? If it's on your page there, man, I have to go check it out. You know what I mean? And I have to go check it out on your page maybe or something. I have to go check y'all out and sub, man. I'll sub back. You know what I mean? To people, I'll sub back. Look, I can't look right now, Bo. If I look right now, I'll lose it. But I'm about to get off here anyway. I'm getting ready to wrap this up, though. I was rubbing in my mouth and just talking about stuff right there. But we're going to keep updates on this rod. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow night. I go live on Facebook. And it's a pretty wild live, so I think it's pretty livid. So I'll be busy doing that tomorrow night. But got a wrestling match Thursday night, so probably Friday night before I jump back on here again. Probably. But I try to do it, you know, in between about 9, 10, or 11 o'clock I usually go on. Probably more like 10 or 11. I go on for about an hour. But, yeah, we're getting ready to wrap this up, fellas. Mason, I'll check that stuff out. I'll go check you out on your page, man, and check it out and all. Check it all out for you, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in with me on the live. Like I said, maybe look forward to Friday. Friday, I come back on here. Check it out. You know what I mean? Like I said, man, we'll get these lives going and rocking out. And y'all got all kinds of apparel, bracelets, koozies, decals, hats, shirts. I got all kinds of stuff piled up that I like to shoot out to people every now and then, you know what I mean? And I just kind of shoot it out to people that, you know what I mean, follow me and support me. That's it. But on Thursday, I got basketball, but I definitely check on Friday. That's cool, man. I'm going to be busy till Friday myself, man. You know what I mean? I'm giving rods away to people who get the most likes on my sounds. I'll check it out, Mason. I'll jump on there and check you out, brother. I'll jump on there and check you out. All right, fellas. I'm gonna have to jump off here, man. I gotta get up in the morning and do my thing. Like I said, you know, we'll try to go about 10:30, 11 o'clock Friday night. I'll probably jump on here and we'll probably do a nice update on this rod, see how it's looking and everything, and we'll go over some stuff. We'll have another little smooth live. You know what I mean? I appreciate each and every one of y'all, man. Make sure y'all subbing up. Make sure y'all subbing if you haven't. Like I said, I'm gonna go back and check y'all out, and I'll sub you back. You know what I mean? And all. But tune in Friday night, man. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all checking in and subbing the page. And until next time, you know what I mean? BigSrod's will be signing off.